Good, Sock. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, amazing. Yourself?
Oh, not bad, not bad. I believe today's topic is purpose.
Talk about purpose because I feel if we jump into this, I want everybody to know and find out what their purpose in life because everybody has a purpose in life. We're going to cover a few things, do 10 bullet points today for our purpose. So, number one, soul and oxygen. All right. Abraham Maslow, uh, he wrote, what one can be must be. So that's talking to you individually. What you can do, you have to do. You can't just let it happen. Don't let life happen to you. Take control over your life. And a lot of the things that are happening is with today's society living in that eccentric mode instead of that eccentric, right? Eccentric meaning Instagram, we want to look good, we want to, we want these material things, we want to drive those Lamborghinis instead of looking in the inside and who are we and what are we put on this earth to do. So I think that's number one. Number two, I want to talk about is one purpose and many missions. Okay, again, Joseph Campbell, he says, a good life is one hero's journey after the other. Nobody wants a boring life. When you go to a movie, you don't just go and you look at, you want to go look at a movie where it's boring, where we are asleep, something happens, we wake up, now we're going on this quest. And we need to go through life and accept the things that are happening and take charge, actualizing your potential. One's potential, knowing that you have so much potential deep down inside, you have to just let it come out. What is my purpose? And for me, people have these big purposes. For me, my purpose is teaching my kids. And you see that, right?
Right.
And through there, we have these little missions. We have these other missions. And obviously, you don't just have one purpose in life. You have that one purpose. Right. And as you go, it's about this, it's almost the same, but it keeps evolving and growing bigger. And in this big purpose, you have these small missions. You have these small journeys where you're going to be faced through challenges. And we are put on this earth to help people. So figure out what is it that you were put on this earth to do and to help people. You want to close that gap again, how you becoming the best version of yourself, right? Here I am. How can I close that gap every day?
You essentially always want to be ready for more and more missions because that's kind of what life is all about. Even if you're not seeking missions come at you no matter what, right?
Yeah, you're never exonerated. You're never exonerated from life. You're going on this mission and you go through this mission, and you come back home as a different person, as a different you, and now you're ready to teach what you've learned. And then here we go again. Here comes something else, and now you're growing even more, and you are expanding even more. Now your mind is going even more. So when we're stuck and we feel like nothing's going our way, you want to embrace that and say, these are challenges for me. This is something that I need to go through to figure out why am I here. One of the best way to feel good by being kind to people. It's clinically proven. Or in a bad mood, just be kind to somebody. All of a sudden, your mood, gratitude is just going to raise you up. Number three is your onlyness. So what does that mean? It means that only you have these special gifts that nobody else has in this world that you're able to give to the world. All right. So what is it that only you can do that nobody else can do? So you need to tap into that and try to find out what that is. And this is something that you can ask yourself, write down, like, what are some things that I'm good at? What are things that I like to do? What are certain things that only I know that I'm able to do? It goes bigger from that. And that goes back to those eccentric and eccentric goals that you're having down inside, and see what is it that you're able to do. And at the end of the day, help people. You have greatness inside of you. You want to try to figure out what that is. And the only way to do that is through doing things, right? Going and taking new obstacles or new challenges and figuring out what you're good at and what you're not good at. And ignoring what other people are doing. A lot of times, I feel like a lot of people, maybe you're starting, and we're going to use the snake game, for example.
Right.
We look at somebody who is big in the reptile community, right? And they have millions of snakes or whatever, and they're doing it big. And we're like, man, wow, why can't I be? Why am I not there, right? And instead of looking into yourself and knowing that you have a different journey, but you need to go through certain things to get to that level. And just because this guy's the same age as you, right? And you're all of a sudden you're talking bad about somebody, or you're envying them.
Yeah.
Right? You want to look deep inside yourself and know that you have your own path, and your time is going to come if you keep pushing yourself and you keep moving through these obstacles and you keep failing, but you keep learning. I said it before, every failure is just another step closer to that success that you're going to be. We talked about Thomas Edison. It took him 1,000 tries to get the light bulb to work, right? He didn't fail 1,000 times. It was just 1,000 steps and figuring everything. Imagine if he would have quit on step number 590. He would have never experienced and gotten the light bulb. Don't look at failure as you're failing. It's just, you're just one step closer.
Opportunities. I do want to touch on the envy topic part of things that, people need to understand a lot of times that when someone's either upset at somebody or they envy somebody, they don't really know the journey that person's been on. They don't really know where they've been in the chapters in their life to be where they're at, So that's why it's always good to just kind of worry about your own journeys, worry about your own lessons in life, because eventually the lessons will get you there.
Absolutely right. That I thank you for even bringing that up. 100% true. You don't know what that person put in. And the reason why they have what they have is because of the lessons they've learned and the time they put in. Yeah. Even with these certifications, I spent the last 2 years where I was deep in studying, and for 6 hours a day, even on Sundays, I was putting in the time so I can be at the level where I am today. And again, I'm messing up. I'm learning every day. Yeah. And the people that you see that are up there, you have no idea what they sacrificed. The room I have here, you have no idea what I did for 10 years to sacrifice to get to where it is, the things that I had to do. So yeah, exactly. Don't look at what others have. When you do, you want to be appreciative and like, good for them. Look at how much they're succeeding. There's enough success in this world for everyone. Number 4, retirement, ikigais, and swimming rats. Before 1989, there was no thing as retirement. In Germany is when they started retirement. It was in 1989, and that means at 65 years old you retire. And the average lifespan back then, I believe, was 67. So you retire, and in 2 years you die. You go back to Okinawa, they have the oldest people living there. Basically, they're the most healthiest, and they've always worked their whole life. And it's about having a purpose. It's not about just retiring from work and going and sitting on the couch and watching movies while you're eating your dong-dongs. Like, there's no life to that. There's no purpose to that. And most of us are brainwashed into that. So the ikigai is having an ikigai, having a purpose, and asking yourself these questions. What are you good at? The world need? And what do you love to do? Ask yourself those questions every day, and you're going to find the answers. And when you wake up, you're going to wake up with a purpose, right? If you don't have a purpose, if you don't have hope that your future is going to be better than tomorrow, there's no reason for you to wake up. I was like that as well. I'm sure you were at that point too. Like, why do I want to get out of bed? I do not have a purpose. There was a study in the 1950s where they took rats, and the guy put them in a bucket of water, and he had them swim until they drowned. So the rats would swim and rats are actually really good swimmers, and they would drown around the 15-minute mark. And then he changed it up, and he said, what if I take, right before they drown in the 15th minute mark, what if I take this right out, dry it off, give it, like a minute rest, and then put it back in the water. You know how much longer these rats swim for? 60 hours.
What?
Because of hope. Because before they didn't know that they were going to be rescued.
So they gave up.
So they gave up. Pulled them out. Now they were like, there's hope that somebody is going to, like, if I keep swimming, I'm going to survive. Not 60 minutes, 60 hours. That's 240 times more. Hope is so powerful, to have hope. I'm trying to find my purpose in life, and you're going to get knocked down. You're going to fail, and it's okay. I'll give you my examples. Like, I started the YouTube channel. I'm putting affirmations. Sometimes I get 1 view. Sometimes I get 2 views. Sometimes I get 300 views. I'm doing this for a bigger purpose. I'm not really doing it for the views. I'm doing it so my kids can see it. I'm doing it so I can help out that one person. So hope is very big, and finding your purpose through your ikigai. Number 5, the internet. You need to tap into yourself. A lot of us are going to the internet to find all these, all these stimulus. We're swiping, we're looking at girls in bikinis, or guys in bikinis, or we're looking at these fast cars or these houses, centric things, right? We want to look in ourselves to find that purpose. We need to unplug ourselves. Mainstream society, right? I used to be bad. I mean, on Instagram, like I would spend hours on Instagram, and then I was like, "What am I doing, bro? I'm just wasting my life trying to get that dopamine fix because I'm scrolling." And catch yourself. You're not even reading things. You're not even looking at it. You're just literally just scrolling through pictures, waiting for something to really catch your eye. To maybe you pause or you're not, and it's very difficult, right?
Yeah.
You want to unplug yourself from that system and look deep down inside, and what are the things that are making you happy? What are the things that make you smile? What are the things that you love to do that are going to help others? Hey, when you are on the internet like that, and you're scrolling and you're plugged into there, that your IQ diminishes from 5 to 15 points. Smoke weed and you can have a less effect than actually scrolling and being sucked into the matrix and really just being absorbed. And look at it. I know for me now, I created a habit, even on social media anymore. I just go on there to post, but sometimes I'll sit there and then I'll look and I'll scroll, and within like 7 seconds, I'm really good at it now. If I go like this for like 7 seconds, I'm like, holy, I just shut it off.
So you smoke weed now?
No,
just kidding.
You want to unplug from the internet and plug yourself in your internet and down inside and see what works for you. And you have to try it out. It doesn't matter how old you are or what you've been through. Fix this to find out who you are and what your purpose is.
And I also want to, capitalize on the whole internet thing. Internet's something that we need, obviously, like especially if we have to post stuff and we need to use this to get our content out. But as soon as you're not using it, get off of it, right? I feel like that's a good tool that you just said, is like, if you catch yourself 7 seconds of just looking at nothing, then get out. Your time on the internet should be done for the day. You need to hop back on later. But yeah, I feel like a habit, some people are just bored or don't even know why they're looking into their phone. Awakening, like people need to wake up and be like, why am I looking at my phone right now? This is dumb, and just put it down and then use it when you need to use it.
Catch yourself and you're laying on the couch and you're there for 30 minutes and you haven't really gotten anything because you haven't even stopped on a message. You're just scrolling through, looking at pictures. And again, the internet, there's so many good things. There's so much good information. Like you can, watch very educational things on YouTube or programs that are going to help you. And that's different. But if you're just on TikTok and you're just looking at just nonsense, which, okay, you want to have some fun for a little bit, but what is it doing? How's it benefiting you? How's it benefiting your kids? Or how are your kids benefiting from all of that? And us, before, we would have where Maximus and Ari would watch an iPad, like before they go to bed, like they're in bed for like 15 minutes, right? And that's terrible. That blue light hitting you, you're not producing melatonin to go to sleep, so now it's more difficult for them to fall asleep. Cut all that out. And again, it's just from experimenting and seeing what works for you. There's no right or wrong. Educate yourself and see how you're able to help yourself and help your family. Right now, for me, an hour before I go to bed, I cut out all electronics. I don't look at any lights. I don't look at my phone. That way, when it's time for me to close my eyes, I'm going to sleep at the fastest possible.
Kids have a tough time with that change. Did they kind of like push back a little bit?
Not Ari. Ari was good. Maximus a little. He would cry. He's like, I want to watch cartoons. Right. What is it? For a couple days, a week, and then boom, they forgot. Just like the pacifier. Some things are going to be challenging, but again, you want those challenges because it's the only way you're going to grow. You stay comfortable, you're always going to be where you are. You're never going to expand.
People just need to embrace stuff that's not easy still. Like it's okay to take challenges on, because that goes back to what the purpose in many missions is. Like, you know, missions are going to be challenges, right? You would say that's the same thing.
Absolutely. Every mission is going to be a challenge. Every mission is going to be a journey. It's going to be a mini journey. And, you know, you might come victorious, you might not. And you learn, and then you go back in there. Number 6, accept, discover by doing, and enter the failure hall of fame by taking action. So you want to discover who you are by trying new things. Be scared, don't be shy. You know, like the other day, Ari met somebody and I was like, go introduce yourself. And she was like, shy. And I, why are you shy? You know, you're afraid of something. And then I pushed her and I got her out of her comfort zone. And then she talked to this girl. All of a sudden they became friends. She came to my house, you know, like just because first is that failure, being scared to fail, right? I'm scared to breed these ball pythons because I might kill them. The only way for you to find out is to do it. So try new things, get yourself out there and discover. Be willing to fail. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And accept that failure needs to happen to grow. A lot of people are like, man, I'm stuck. I'm down. Every time I fail, every time life is not going my way. Use that as fuel. Use that as energy, so you can get up, more energy into it, and go in there and succeed. Just never stop. Knowing that failure is part of the journey. You have to be willing to fail.
Failure doesn't mean it's the end at all. Like that's failure is the key factor, is that you're getting closer and you're doing it right. You know what I mean? You got to embrace failure, because it's going to happen. Like I don't care how good you are at something. Failure is going to happen. I don't even know what you went through to even get that room the way it is, you know, like all the trial and errors, all the shit you and Joey went through just to get that room together. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears go into everything that you show off.
Once you accept the failure, it doesn't matter about what other people think or say. One of the biggest things for me was I was afraid to go in front of people and bring them into my life, or show them my kids, or show them my personal life, just even being in front of the camera. But once I decided what my bigger goal, my bigger picture is, then I knew that I had to go out there and fail. Even like with this podcast that we're doing, I probably messed up a couple of times, right? It's okay. The way I talk, maybe I'm not fluent in talking, but I'm learning. And every time that I'm doing this podcast, I'm growing as a person. Every time I do those affirmations in the morning, I'm growing as a person. Every time that I'm teaching my kids, I'm doing that as a person. Imagine I'm doing this every day. What is it going to look like 5 years from now? For example, Michael Jordan, why is he so great? Right? He did a commercial where he said, I missed 9,000 shots. 27 times I was trusted to take the game-winning shot, and I took it, and I missed the shot. The reason why he's so great is because he didn't care about what other people thought of him if he failed, and he did fail. But through failure, he became the champion, the GOAT, the great. Through missing 9,000 shots, through missing 27 last-minute game pointers to win the championship, right? And look how many rings he's got. He chose to not care about what other people think and how they see them, and he just went for his mission. That's why he took those shots.
You gotta take your shots in life, man. It's the only way. Champs take their shots.
Every single one. Number 7, victim versus hero. You got to be willing to write your story, not blame everything on other factors or other people. At the end of the day, you came in with nothing and you're going to leave with nothing. And in between that short period, that lifespan that we have, all up to you to become who you are meant to be and become great. Granted, some people might be born in rich families, some not, but there's so many people that had nothing. They used their resources and their energy and their potential, and they became extraordinary. Because we all have that deep down inside. But believe in yourself, and you can't put the victim mentality. You can't keep blaming other people why you are where you are, or why you hate this person. It all goes back to who you are.
You just gotta let the past go too. You know, some people hold a lot of resentment. I think I was one of them. Before I went on your journey, I was able to kind of get a lot of stuff off my chest, and I didn't realize how much I was holding resentment based off my childhood, based off certain things in my past. You know what I mean? All that stuff just weighs you down after time. You gotta be able to let shit go.
As men, we were told when we were younger, little boys don't cry,
right.
You're tough. And when we have these feelings, we suppress them deep down inside, and we keep suppressing them. And when you suppress them, that's when all of a sudden you tell these, you're lying to yourself. We have about 80 or 90,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are lies. We lie to ourselves. So when you become aware of that, and you become aware of this bullshit story that you're telling yourself, right, and you start questioning it, now you start doing new things, and you start waking up, and you start learning new things, and start moving your energy in a different direction. So if you want to change your personality, your personal reality, right? So here's Socrates' personal reality, and my personal reality is driven by my personality, how I think, how I act, and how I feel. So in order to change my personal reality, I have to change my personality, how I think, how I act, how I feel. So if I start doing new things, right? I start using a different vibration, a different energy. Now I'm in different places. I'm meeting new people. Now there's different opportunities for me.
Personal reality leads to your personality, and that kind of makes so much sense, because based off your own personal reality kind of resembles who you are. That's kind of like,
Yeah,
if you're in a good mood or bad mood, whatever, like that's
it's it's the way you were brought up. It's the way you perceive the world. And if you want to learn more about that, I suggest getting Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, where if you're able to feel these emotions before the event happens, you're pushing yourself closer to that event. So now you're creating your life instead of just letting life happen to you. You need to wake up. You need to wake up from this dream spell and go out there and take action. Don't think that it's because other people, this is why you're in this situation.
no.
You're in this situation because you let it happen.
Right.
So wake up, take action, go out there and go on those journeys, go on those missions, because that's the adventure, and that's how you're going to become a different person, right? You don't want an easy life. Nothing happens in an easy life.
Yeah.
What are the adventures you're going to get by, again, sitting and watching TV all the time? Or
Right.
watching these movies, and then you dream about being this superhero in this movie. Go be your own superhero in
Yeah.
your dream.
That's
You
Joe
know?
Rogan. Joe Rogan said that, man. Be your own superhero in your own story. Like, why do you have to idolize someone else? Go idolize yourself, man. Like,
Correct.
you could be that guy, because we're the creators. We have the paintbrush in our hands. All right, number 8.
All right. Don't take advice and don't conform. A lot of times we take advice from other people, and we leave these big decisions to us. So, for example, you're 3 years old and your dad tells you, "Hey, don't eat the worms and don't touch the toilet." That's good advice. But when you're 20 or 30 and you're like, "Man, I want to I want to open up this new business," and somebody's like, "Man, the economy is sucks right now. You're probably gonna close down. It's too risky."
Yeah.
Don't look at what other people are saying. Listen to yourself. Listen to what you want to do, and go out there and find those problems and fix those problems and take those adventures. Listen to your gut. Your gut will tell you what's right and wrong. You need to follow the advice of others. Be yourself.
There's a time and place where you could listen to good advice. I took your advice, and that helped me out a lot. So how does somebody determine out there what advice to take and what not advice to take?
Something that you believe in your heart that is true, that you want to do, that you feel like is going to change your life. And maybe, hey, I want to go back to school and get my doctorate, or like I said, opening a business. These are scary things, but in the end, they're going to turn out to be good. You tell me. You took my advice because I was trying to help you. I'm either going to listen to soccer, or I'm going to go smoke some weed.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing both.
Message.
Right. But you kind of know, what's going to benefit you and what's not going to benefit you there. Big moves that you want to make that are scary, right?
Right.
And you're asking somebody, "Do you think I should go open up this store? Do you think I should buy these 10 ball pythons because I want to breed them, and it's too expensive. We don't know where the market's going to go." I mean, yeah. What is it that you want to do?
Follow your heart.
Follow your heart. Right, number 9, enter the black whole. Be all in. Focus on that black hole. That black hole, they say that it destroys things, right? Actually, it creates things. It sucks everything in, and then it creates new life, new planets, new galaxies, and all this stuff. So what you want to do is you want to pinpoint and laser focus, like the black hole, like just laser focus on that one thing that you want to do, that you feel is going to change you, is going to change the world, and go all in. Just like with, I don't know if we talked about anti-fragile, but being anti-fragile, meaning you can be fragile where you get kicked around and things break. You can be resilient where you can get kicked around, you'll be okay, but eventually you're going to break. Or you can be anti-fragile. Doesn't matter how many times you get kicked, you get stronger. Fire, it takes, you got to be 451 degrees to create fire. Not 450 degrees, not 450 and a half degrees. To create fire, you need to generate 451 degrees, right? Same with boiling water. Boiling water, 212 degrees. You can't boil water at 211 degrees. As you're going through life and you are, man, like, when is this going to happen? When is this thing going to take off? Boom, 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 boom. You just got to get to that 451 degrees. You just got to get to that 212 degrees, right? And you might be right there. You might just need that 0.1 degrees or a half a degree, and everything just lights up and you take off. And a lot of people quit too early. So knowing that and using that as fuel. 10, +1 to the infinite power, which is invest it in yourself moment to moment to moment. Make sure that you trust yourself, the decisions that you make, and in what you believe in. Live each day moment to moment to moment. Be present in the moment. Don't look back on a lot of your failures. Don't look back on the past, because that's in the past, and that's death. The past is death. It's never coming back. And we don't know what the future is going to hold. A lot of times people stress out about the future. Nobody knows what the future is going to hold. Nobody knows what the next moment's going to bring. So be present in the now. Be grateful of what you have now, even if it's not a lot. You have your family, you have your husband, you have your wife, you have your friends, you have your job, you have a home. Maybe you live in a shelter, but you have food. Just be grateful for these things, and look for a better tomorrow, and create that hope for yourself, and go out there and crush the day, knowing that it's part of the journey.
Turn all that hopeless feeling into motivation. When you feel down, when you feel scared, when there's something that you're not sure of, kind of should get you motivated. Like, it should kind of put a spark in you. And when you feel that anxiety, run with it. Go do something with it. Don't stay at home.
That's it. It should, when you do something big, it should scare the shit out of you.
It's normal. It's okay.
Yeah. Just like this new business that we're starting. It's the first of its kind. I'm scared as shit that, I don't know if, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? There's going to be problems. I'm sure of it, but I'm ready for it. And I know that it's going to be life-changing. I know there's going to be problems that are going to arise, but I'm going to handle them head on. There's going to be challenges, but I know I'm going to see it through. I'm going to see it through, because it's just, I'm ready for that hero's journey. I'm ready for those challenges. I'm ready for those problems, so I can grab them, and then I can use all that energy that I have to solve those problems.
Anyone out there who's just struggling, finding a way to look at a purpose, because you got so many people out there, Sock, who's caught into their day-to-day where they don't even feel like they have time to find a purpose. I mean, what do you have to say to anyone out there who just doesn't feel like nothing motivates them?
Working for somebody else, and you can become very wealthy working for somebody else. But what I'm saying is that if you're constantly working and it's just about work and go to sleep to pay the bills and all these things, really evaluate your life. And what I ask you to do is, since you're working 40 hours a week for somebody else, or maybe more, invest 1 hour a day in yourself. And what I mean by that, 1 hour a day to invest in yourself, in learning something new, learning a new skill, going into just learn something new, invest in something that you believe in, you love, and learn more about that type of self-productivity book that's going to help you. And or if you don't like reading, you listen to the audiobook or the podcast, just 1 hour a day. And if that's too much, drop it down to 30 minutes a day. And you're going to see after a while, you're going to be like, wow, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm evolving. Now I'm going to put another half an hour in there. and you're going to see your actions are going to start changing, and your energy level is going to be different, and things are going to start happening, and you're like, holy shit, okay, let me put more into myself. You don't need to start out big. Again, if you don't have motivation, get some self-productivity books, listen to an audiobook 30 minutes a day. If you are putting all this time to somebody else, why are you not investing in yourself? You're never going to go wrong in investing in yourself. Invest $1 million in myself, on a mentor, on a program, because I know that I'm going to learn something. I'm going to take something that I'm going to use. The biggest thing is putting it into action, though. Don't just read or listen and not do anything. Do what the book tells you to do.
Doing nothing is waiting for it to come to you, and that's not going to work. Okay.
No.
You got to speak up. You got to go out there. You got to go meet who I like to call, like, go find your Socrates, go find whoever it is that can maybe relate to your situation, and you take that motivation, you run with it. Motivation isn't forever. Like, if it's one thing that people need, it's discipline, Sock. It's not motivation. It's discipline. And so everything that we're trying to do on this monthly segment is give you more things to help you become more disciplined. And I got to say that, these 10 key points will be in the description below. Play victim if you have not attempted to get any wins, meaning if you are choosing to stay in bed, if you're choosing not to look for these missions and get a little bit of wins, then you can't be mad at nobody but yourself, okay? At the end of the day, you're the one that needs to put things into action, okay? Socrates isn't going to do it for you. I'm not going to do it for you. No one else is going to put yourself into action but yourself. Please, guys, give Socrates a follow on Instagram, Arieli Max Boreal. Also, My Philosophy of Socrates on IG and on YouTube. All right, guys, listen, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, afternoon, no matter where you're at. Thank you so much. Socrates, I appreciate you so much.
Have fun in Jamaica.
Will do, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Go. Love you.
Love you, buddy. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop me a comment. If you're looking for exclusive trap content, go to the very first link in the description below. Join the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you get a link to the Discord, which taps in with over 160 trappers. I'll catch you guys here next week, and I'm out.